Hello everyone. Yeah, so sorry about the delay. I stream in like my morning time and I woke up later this morning and I had to make sure that I actually ate something before the stream started, so I feel like it's best to start a little late than have me not eating anything and going into the stream. So I'm really sorry to everyone who's been waiting for so long. Yeah, let us continue with Turnabout Legacy. Yeah, so to all you here, I'll probably be making up for this by, I may end the stream and start a new one when I start Case 4, just for the ease of, like, VODs and stuff. Yeah, taking care of yourself is more important. Yeah, thanks, everyone. Okay, so, we are now officially in the end game. We found out that, Judy Bound, was kind of a culprit of this case, and, yeah. But she had tragic reasons, and, she was just trying to find the real culprit 18 years ago, and, we now have a pretty good idea of who that is, so it is well and truly time for the endgame. It's time for Larry to save the case, exactly. Miss Bound, do you feel a little calmer now after having confessed to attempted poisoning?
Overruled.
However, firstly, red tape. Yeah.
Overruled.
So, yeah, this right here is kinda interesting, because a lot of people are wondering if the committee existed back then, why did it overlook Von Karma? I don't think he was a member, but yeah. Some stuff is definitely going on here. No, I think it's more that there's something of Von Karma in the committee. Oh, I completely forgot about this. I didn't realize she had a testimony here. Oh, wait, what? Okay, that's pretty insane. Yeah, I definitely translated the last testimonies of this case, but not this one, so this one's a little unfamiliar to me, as I said. I act solely in the service of law and order, yet I've also got the wrong culprit every single time I've made logic on this kind of thing. So yeah, I do like with the committee they are adding a little bit of the overall plotline of the game into this. They're tying it into that aspect, which will, let's just say, become a lot more relevant later on in this game.
Hold it. Objection.
Yeah, clearly you haven't met Phoenix, by the way, Gavel. It would be really interesting to hear her reaction to him. She'd probably be even more angry with him, honestly. Yeah, almost makes you think the committee might have other reasons for not wanting this looked into again. Oh, surprisingly she didn't overrule him on that. Yeah, this might be why a lot of people, you know, have issues with Gavel. The thing is that you're meant to. Especially now, you're really meant to. Yes, any confession secured by Von Karma is probably should be inadmissible. Yeah, it is a good thing that Shu Takumi was vague about Gregory Edgeworth's final case in the first game, so we can have all of this. Oh, hey, they're mentioning Ian Sideman again. Because, yeah, that guy is totally trustworthy. She's probably been actively avoiding taking Phoenix's cases. Yeah, that would be kind of funny to see them interact, though. But, yeah, so, like, the whole thing about being vague and stuff, it does... it does kind of remind me of Overly Sarcastic Productions' video about noodle incidents. Like, sometimes it is best to leave vague story details vague, but other times it can be fun to actually go and, you know, add in stuff where they leave room for it. Like, clearly there was a case that Gregory worked on, and there was forgery involved by Von Karma in it. That's all we knew, so... And having it in this game adds a great way of tying into Edgeworth's backstory and his whole dilemma over whether to be a defense attorney or stay as a prosecutor. Because this case is... the job of this case is to make, you know, Edgeworth really question his path as a prosecutor. This is by far the most pro-defense of any of the cases that he's encountered. Yes, they are probably a big deal. I'm surprised they haven't fired Payne yet, though. Maybe they just don't know he exists. Well, I mean, granted, this statement is true of a lot of, like, Phantom Thieves in media, like, you know, Joker and Sly. Please explain your reasoning behind that, I'd very much like to know. Oh yeah, he did. Why not? Yes, because that's the perfect legal, you know... yeah, the perfect, legal turn to accuse someone. Why do you think this person is the killer? Why not? Like, I mean, granted, there is some vague merit to this, but still. Oh, hi Cinderclouds. Yeah, first time catching a stream. Yeah, it's good to see you here. Yeah, Gaspin was way worse than Winston, I will admit. Winston was just incompetent. Gaspin was just a straight-up bully and, corrupt. You stole his corpse and hid it for 18 years. Yeah, granted, that doesn't really cast her in a great light.
Hold it!
Okay, so you're basically Uno reversing the entire argument, aren't you?
Objection!
I wonder if this is just a press everything testimony, or if there is something we can contradict here. Oh, Dragonite, hello, a little late? Well, that's good, because I am too. Oh, here we go, we got a few more. All the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas. Yeah, this is probably the... like, this sounds very much like a present evidence here button. So, okay, what do we have? Expired, convicted as an accomplice, no detailed autopsy report due to the body going missing. Contestant was in infection cause of death, blood loss, blow to the head. Victim's body was found in someone of his creations. While in detention, discovered that he had a taste disorder, which is particularly cured by... convicted as an accomplice based on his confession. Okay, statute of limitations expired. Well, let's not bring that up, because that's going to be really bad for us. But, okay. This is definitely not relevant yet. Unless it is. Unless it's the statute is suspended, like, anytime accomplices indictment, like, till the end of the trial, because that's technically true of Tangaroa, but, it's maybe jumping the gun a little bit.
Hold it!
Yeah, but you didn't have a body for ages. Oh, hi, Modern Mouse with the Golden Deer. Thank you for the $2. You only missed, Not much. You only... Well, you haven't missed much. I've only been streaming for 10 minutes because I was late because I needed to eat. Yeah, it's entirely possible Winston retired after Apollo Justice because we don't really see him again after that. Well, I mean, that'd be a good excuse for him to go back to... Not back, go to being a lawyer.
Hold it.
Winston Payne will be the pro tag of Ace Attorney 7. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Oh, I see no fur. Whoa. Oh, that is great, actually. That is literally what the judge says at a guilty verdict in the original games. So that's actually nice. I wonder if we did that in the fan translation or not. We might have, because it probably will. Again, I didn't translate this testimony, so I'm not sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did do it. Yeah, there's definitely a present here. Still one thing we don't have an answer to. Ah, right, yeah, obviously. Yeah, all the evidence needed to explain blah, 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 blah. Yeah, obviously we don't. So what is that one thing? It's probably not that. Oh, hang on. Sugar, salt, blood. Huh. Oh, wait, no, that's because of the body, right, yeah. We don't know why there's salt in it, though, but I feel like that's probably also jumping the gun. I mean, we don't know this, but I feel like this is also maybe a little bit too minor, but at the same time, it could be something. I'm gonna try this.
Objection!
No, that's not right. Yeah, so I believe, Gavelle, for all of her testimonies, the failure dialogue for Gavelle is always the same. Every character has 3, different failure dialogues for presenting against them, and, I'm pretty sure that both Gavelle and Winner, like all the recurring characters, the failure dialogues are always the same. Yeah, the strings were salty. I forget if we have that in here, like evidence of that directly in here. So Ubiquium and Asphyxion, exactly as he saw it. It's more about the stuff, yeah, many years ago. Murder Weapon, Rock Salt Lamp. Taste Order, which was... That's probably not relevant yet. This one testimony actually got me down to 1 health, yeah. I mean, the cases are definitely getting a little bit more complex. Like, the testimonies are a bit tougher in this one. It's probably not the ultimate cookbook. It's probably more obvious than I think it is. Like, I want to say it's somewhere in the IS-7 case file, or it's that, but, like, yeah.
Objection!
Well, it's not the IS-7 case file. Because, yeah, we still haven't explained, like, is it really that we haven't explained where the salt comes from? It might be.
Objection!
Oh, it is, okay, yeah. I thought it would be simple. Yeah, I don't want to go into story mode again. From now on, I'll look up a guide if I get stuck, because story mode permanently taints your save file out of getting achievements, apparently. Oh yeah, we don't actually... Oh, wait, also this is a case of being right for the wrong reasons. It's also we don't know whose blood is in the case as well. Because I was originally assuming, oh yeah, the blood is obvious because the body was in there. Oh yeah, but she doesn't know. That was just Gumshoe. Yeah. I was planning to tell Mr. Winner about it. Yeah, sure you were. Sure you were. Oh yeah, the case for Mind Chess is very much something. Yeah, it's always funny when you present, like, a piece of evidence and, like, you know, it's right, but not for the reasons you thought it was right. Yeah, like, the game doesn't actually make it obvious that we don't know whose blood it is. But to me, the fact that the salt has never really been... Like, they wouldn't mention the salt in it if, that wasn't going to be relevant. It's like, they call that law of conservation of detail. Any minor piece of information that is mentioned in evidence is going to be relevant. Like, for example, if the autopsy report specifically states, like, died from a single blow, somebody's going to claim they died from more than one blow, and you're going to have to contradict them. Guess who's back, losers? I love Eustace. In probably not, you know, the right way, but still. Oh, he has a... I don't know if that's a tattoo or if he actually burned a seahorse into his hand by accident. Also, I love how this guy is, well, not totally different. You can see some of the similarities, but, like, I love how they gave him a different sprite for the present. And also, character development. He now has 2 scars across his face. So, clearly he had some other horrible cooking accident. But also he has, like, this old man laugh now, which I like. I still really like this guy's theme. Yeah, no, I agree, Watchaby, that the whole single blow contradiction is very common in the series. Oh, he's got a scar on his arm, too. I forget if that was there last time. Moral of this story, cooking is very dangerous, and, always wear the appropriate protection. Hopefully we're not going to have a whole right to remain silent testimony like we did in Spirit of Justice. No. Yeah, I've tried meditating before. It's pretty tough. You have to, like, empty your mind of, like, every stray thought. Oh, this is interesting because I do remember that in Japanese, this guy did have a very distinctive laugh. I forget it. Like, it's not like outright One Piece tier laughter, but like, it was distinctive. I think it was something like nu-nu-nu-nu-nu-nu-nu-nu, or maybe like I think it had, I seem to remember it had a nu in it. Like, so, yeah, making it distinctive here makes a lot of sense. I mean, true, but, you know, you could be a victim of one thing and a culprit of another. Really interested to see me react to the next case is going to be interesting. Bradley Harris says, I want to believe he got those scars getting into a fight with this universe's equivalent of Gordon Ramsay. That would be amazing. Judges aren't supposed to be on people's sides. Are they supposed to be impartial?
Objection!
Yeah, it's all about that doctored report about the case. Like, clearly they are not happy with that. Yeah, that right there was a major theme of Apollo Justice. The idea of the human thing in law. Like, the actual main judge recognizes that. Oh, nice. Wow. That was great. Wow. She needs a lot of ice for that burn, but she does seem pretty unfazed by it. Okay. Luna Amethyst says in the chat, says, hi, I went to a haunted house. Yeah, nice, but hopefully it wasn't as boring as the haunted house case in Investigations 1. I'm so sorry. I don't like Kidnap Turnabout that much. Yeah, I do like Gusto's sword sound effects too, Joseph. Huh. You were pretty adamant that it was Gemini, weren't you? It was Gemini 18 years ago, right? Yeah, it was Gemini. So the fact that you Freudian slipped to Gemini kind of implies something. Yes, there just happened to be a blowtorch nearby. Just happened to be one. Yeah, this right here kind of... I don't know. It does kind of line up with our theory, though. But also, you know, the fact that the blowtorch just happened to be nearby is also a little bit suspicious. Yeah, this is the problem with going to, like, full-on vigilante lengths to get justice, because then it makes it easier for people to discredit you, because they're like, oh yeah, you're the kind of person to do that, so, like, you know, maybe you shouldn't be trusted on some other things.
Objection!
Yeah, she turned the sprinklers on. And she did seem a little bit relieved that he didn't die, so I like to think she didn't actually plan for him to die to it. Really? Because I think I know of quite a lot of reasons you could have had. I'll have to look at his sprite again. I don't think he's missing an eye now. He actually might be, though. Oh, I love these segments. I love these segments where you get a bunch of extra logic and have to put everything together. It happened with the whole assassination in Case 1. Not many people commit murder just for fun. Well, I mean, you know, like Batman with, like, the Joker, maybe. Oh, we're flashing back to this testimony. Cooperation ended. I believe we went with breakdown in relations here. which must have been an effort to actually fit on in the logic bubble. Yeah, it would be hard to prove Sam's innocent if Gusto died to the gas, exactly. The questions that never got answered. Oh yeah, the finger box. Wanted the cookbook. Well, it definitely seems like the ultimate cookbook is a big part of this, given how many people were willing to cheat to get it. Oh, I knew this would be relevant. Yeah. We didn't actually get this in evidence back in the back then, but yeah, more film had been used up than expected, huh? Yeah, it's kind of like Edgeworth and Gregory doing logic together. I agree, Kiki Megami. And so, logic time. Yeah, here we go. Cooperation ended. Remaining exposures wanted the cookbook. So, it's more a matter of how these connect. But the favor wasn't returned. Maybe it's this first? Yeah, there you go. I think it's a little too early to say the cookbook was involved. Yeah, it is called the Angel's Cookbook, even in this localization, though. Yeah, these segments, I agree, James. These segments are basically revisualization before revisualization was a thing in Dual Destinies. Considering that was also a Yamazaki game, I wouldn't be surprised if there was inspiration. Yeah, something changed.
Objection!
Yeah, revisualization is like flashy, but at the same time, it also isn't particularly like, you know, difficult or doesn't require a whole lot of thought. It's funny to see that. I'm pretty sure that had a Pursuit theme playing originally.
Objection!
Well, we get to hear Von Karma's objection at least one more time. Yeah, I like that you're solving a cold case too. It kind of reminds me of, well, not entirely, but I used to like the show New Tricks when I was younger, which was about, like, a group of old detectives who solve, like, really cold cases. Yeah, he's not great at, like, he doesn't have a particularly good poker face. He sweats a lot. Ah, timing of the murder. Couldn't have killed Frost with Tengaro in his room. Oh yes, and we are solving a cold case, involving a victim named after Ice Puns. Timing of the murder. Maybe now it's the camera? Oh, wait. With 3 pieces of evidence, then... Well, 3 pieces of logic, I mean. Oh, unless we actually do have to do this, and make the jump that he was taking photos of the cookbook. Yeah, there we go, okay. The breakup was a mutual moment, yeah. Here we go. Frost and Gusto didn't attend afternoon tea. Unless nobody saw hide nor hair of him because he was dead. Oh, hi there, Supreme Sergios. Yeah, actually made it to one of these. Yeah, afternoon tea, timing of the murder. Because without an autopsy report, we have no real idea of what the time of death was. I actually kind of, Joseph Sociola, that headcanon is interesting. I mean, if you wanted to do that, then why did you feel so underconfident in your chances of winning that you had to take photos of the prize? And yeah, I love this segue into the mind chess, yeah, which I'm pretty sure I did translate this one. Yeah, so we actually have mind chess, now. This is quite late in the case to be having this. But I think now I can actually kind of say this. So, every case in this game, no matter how short or how long, has exactly 2 mind chess segments. Every case. And I really like that consistency. Like, even case 1 has 2. And 4 pieces, yep. Pretending to be asleep when things aren't going his way. So, I think earlier we got a little bit of a hint as to how to get past this. I want to say you actually need to press him whenever he's meditating. Yeah, that your kids did go to the same school. We did know that much. That's all, huh? Yeah, there you go, same grade at school. Yeah, Mind Chess versus Bronco would have been fun. There we go, yeah, meditating. Because in earlier dialogue, we saw that the way to get through to him when he does this is just to, like, yell loudly. So you kind of have to remember, like, all of that dialogue was kind of a hint as to how to deal with this segment. Yeah, why would a sculptor take part in this contest in the first place? We know that Delicia did because she was a mole for the pharmaceutical company, but what was Frost's motive for entering this? Ah, okay. Possibly just the money. Yeah, I agree, Cinderclouds. Case 5s are absolute peak for both of them. What he was really after. Yeah, I like Mind Chess a lot too. It's one of my favorite sort of major mechanics in this series. It's kind of a shame that Investigations 1 didn't have this. That might be one of the reasons why it's less of a memorable game. Okay. Yeah. You have no idea how much it would have meant to you, okay. Training in Zhengfa. The cookbook wasn't mass-produced because it had pharmaceutical recipes in it, and, Tangaroa's, like, whole family that owned the pharmaceutical company didn't want that to go public with that, and he was like, oh, screw you, I'm gonna make it a prize for a dessert contest so that it gets in the hands of somebody who does not have that restriction over their heads. Maybe. And he's gone ... dots. Yeah, his definite tell is that when he starts pretending to meditate, there's something that he's not saying. Yeah, those who entered the contest knew that. Yeah, I don't think there's any need for an Investigations 3, personally. Really, I think what we need is an Athena game. Like, Athena needs her time in the spotlight. Also, Mood Matrix is an amazing mechanic and needs to be in more things. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Maybe we have to have him admit that it was actually, about medicines. I was gonna do it again. He's doing it again. Yeah, I do feel like Spirit of Justice at times did suffer from too many characters. Like, you know, Athena didn't really have that much to do in that game. And, like, they had to put Edgeworth and Maya in it as well, and, like, Apollo, and, like, it had a lot of major characters. Yeah, the Angel's Cookbook, to its proper title. Yes, and now we need to do the first one. Time to deploy the clue! And yeah, Yamazaki's not at Capcom anymore, so I'm really not sure what's gonna happen to the future of the series. Like, considering they did that big Ace Attorney presentation, which confirmed that apparently, Ghost Trick is an Ace Attorney game, kind of. I don't know what the future is gonna be. I'd kind of like to see a crossover game that has, like, Phoenix investigating, like, let's just say there's a cold case that Ryunosuke worked on in the past, and Phoenix investigates it in the present. Like, that would be kind of cool. Not gastronomical, but pharmaceutical. Turnabout Revolution was clearly meant to be two separate cases. It's funny because, like, that's kind of the opposite of Dual Destinies, where the final case, like, cases 4 and 5 of that were originally meant to be one case, but it actually did get split in two. Ghost Trick X Ace Attorney crossover would be really good as well. But also, that would assume that we would get Shu Takumi, because Shu Takumi did Ghost Trick as well. You need it for your son. Ah, yes, let's probe him on the deadly illness that his son has. Tell me more about your son. I actually think I use the term pride and joy here too, from what I remember. Maybe it's been a while. Anything. He come to see you right up through the semi-final. I think they did mention that in the past segments. First to try your creations. It wasn't that kind of illness. Okay. Nowadays, you can get the medication he needs anyway, anywhere, but back then the book was our only hope. I mean, it has been 18 years. Okay, there we go, yeah. Okay. I wonder if this is a double, one of the double... Again, like, I'm sorry to, like, not be, remembering too much about this, but I definitely did the translation for this, but most of it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm mostly waiting for a certain thing to come up, because I know that the actual medical condition, we named it in the fan translation, and I wonder if they still do that here. Yeah, the pride and joy thing being a common saying. Like, you'd be surprised how many sayings are the same in Japanese as they are in English. Like, 2 birds, 1 stone is literally a Japanese expression too. You sampled your rival's work, but nothing seemed to have any flavor. Ah, it's a double clue. Yeah, I thought so. So you have to get 2 clues, then go into this. Well, we now know that he was not seriously ill. Not life-threatening, but life-altering. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things like that. He couldn't taste anything. Hang on. Hang on. That doesn't line up with something, though. Because you said that he came to taste all of your things right up until the semi-finals. And yeah, Tangaroa did have a taste disorder. 2. And yeah, here we go. Yeah, that could be bad for your line of work. Yeah, you didn't make all your own entries. Oh yeah, I remember that being that dramatic in the Japanese as well. Yeah, I think he seemed to say, like, nu and mu quite a lot in Japanese. Yep, you were lying about the sun. Yeah, I don't remember the seahorse in the original either. I don't actually know what incuritis was in Japanese. That's an Apollo Justice plot point. I don't know what it was in Japanese, but I would assume it meant something like incurable disease. Oh, by the way, ever since I, like, started streaming this case, I looked up what those, like, candy pumps actually, like, do, and, they speed up the process definitely a lot in these animations, but it's pretty similar to what's shown here. Oh, they did! They do name it! Yes! Okay, great! Great! So, yeah, so this is another one of those fun fan translation stories. So, yeah, I looked into this, and I was like, okay, the term that is used in Japanese here, I had to look into it, and I found out that it was real. It was not made up, like as we were talking about incuritis. Also, yeah, incuritis, yeah, someone in the chat's mentioning PokeTube saying that, itis would mean inflammation, so it would actually mean incurable inflammation, but anyway. So, yeah, this is actually real. And it's not just something that was invented for the Ace Attorney universe. It's a real thing. And so in the fan translation, we used the real term as well. So yeah, you can't taste anything at all. In fact, I believe that A is kind of similar to the A in atheism, at least I'd assume. It's like no taste, basically. Oh, hi, Auburn Frost. Yeah, you've made it to the stream at a pretty decent time. Okay, so we call this hypogeusia. Okay. But maybe it's not quite the same. That hypogeusia is a real thing too. It's just for specific tastes. Yeah, some things he could taste just fine while others had no flavor at all. Yeah, being a chef and you can't taste anything is like playing on hard mode, Bradley Harris, exactly. Oh, that's actually an interesting thing, James Lunagazer, that you wish that tougher opponents in Mind Chess could throw their own pieces at you and you'd have to defend. If that ever came back, that'd be an interesting way to evolve the mechanic. Hypogeusia is no tasting salt, yeah. Cause I think Tangaroa did not, like, they specifically say in prison that he couldn't taste salt, so that's what we used, I think. Oh yeah, Dimitri in Fire Emblem Three Houses is kind of like that as well. I think with him it's implied to be attached to depression somehow? Or like his PTSD? And yeah, dysgeusia is like a metallic taste. Or maybe dysgeusia is what we used. I forget which one we used. But I do know that we used, and I'm glad they used the same term here, because again, it is real. The entry for the final was subpar on both taste and design, apparently. And finally he testifies. Frost and I were working together right up through the final. I handled the flavor and he did the designing. But I wanted to face Tanjiro in the final on my own. No help, just me and my skills. So I helped Frost with his entry, but mine I did alone. If it didn't taste good in the final, that's on me. What can I say? I lack training. About that, I wonder. What did Tanjiro think of Gusto's work? Cut to Gordon Ramsay rants. Somehow this candy is raw! I didn't know candy could be raw!
Hold it!
Oh yeah, it could be something that might have had its clinical name changed since the years that we did the fan translation, yeah. Okay, this is all familiar now to me. I remember these lines. So now we see how he's changed since back in the day. Yep, he can make an actual phoenix now! It's no longer a chicken! Yeah, his laugh was very, very specific in Japanese from what I remember, so I'm glad they conveyed that in the localization. Some Asian a bit shocked this isn't case 5. Yeah, this is kind of insane for only a case 3.
Hold it!
He made a that man. Yes, exactly. That man. Because we can't say Phoenix's name in the Edgeworth spin-offs for some reason. Like, I like trying to distance them from Phoenix, but it's just funny how they have to dance around ever mentioning him directly. It'd be kind of like if they, did, in Sonic X Shadow Generation Shadows campaign, they never really mentioned Sonic directly.
Overruled.
No, there's no name for ageusia. Sorry, I'm not really trying to pronounce it in Esperanto. Interesting. I'd like to look into Esperanto more, honestly. How can they top this case? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. Yeah, I've honestly thought that, things like this, maybe where you could get penalized for pressing, it makes more sense than case 3 of the second game, where you get penalized for a clown making bad jokes. Imagine the main character solving his dead father's final unsolved case and it not being case 5. Yeah, a lot of evidence, disappears in 18 years. Yes, if her thing worked like that, then, she could steal the protagonist title. I mean, you were warned not to let Mo crack jokes, but I mean, still, it's pretty annoying. Oh, was there a penalized for pressing thing in case 5 of the first game? I didn't actually know that. Maybe don't spoil it, directly or anything, because a lot of people in the chat haven't played the earlier games. Yeah, I do like that Gusto did genuinely improve his design over the years. Yeah, so from what I remember, Frost had flavor and design, whereas his had neither, which would imply that their collaboration happened for Frost's entry, but no collaboration happened for his. Yeah, the main brutal testimony I remember is the last testimony of Case 2 of the third game, where if you do anything besides press one specific statement, you get an instant game over. Like, granted, you are warned very clearly that that's the case, but it's still pretty rough. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I remember, like, I believe this test... So, this one was interesting to translate, because if I'm remembering right, this might be a branching testimony. Like, there's one testimony where you can actually toggle which statement goes into the end of it. But I forget if it's this one, or if it's his next testimony. My son and Frost used to go to elementary school together. It might be this one? But yeah, like one of Gusto's testaments has a really interesting gimmick in that, like, you can actually swap between two different final statements, and I think you do need to use both. Yeah, we knew that he had the Yusuke problem. So yeah, most of that stuff went public. Okay. My son and Frost used to go to elementary school together. Now... Oh, Gusto's son visited his father daily up through the semi-final. Oh! Oh, I think I know what's important. If it didn't taste good in the final, that's on me. Maybe it's not on you. Maybe the son is involved. I think that's actually it.
Hold it.
But I do want to try this thing here. Here we go. Ask about the semi-final. Oh, here we go, yeah. The only difference between the semi-final and the final was that Frost wasn't helping me. That's not actually true, is it?
Objection.
Yeah, it's a little suspicious that the son isn't there and all of a sudden... Because remember how he said in the mind chest that his son would always come to taste all his entries? Kay forgot she was a character in the franchise and never showed up again after this game. It would be really interesting. Well, I wonder what she's doing in like the Dual Destinies future. Nothing about this guy screams super dad. That wasn't all he was here to do. Yeah, I think I remember this dialogue choice too, but he did say it himself. Yeah. So his son was the taste tester. Yeah, they wouldn't bring up the children if they weren't going to be relevant. And now he's insulting his own child. Father of the Year, everybody! Father of the Year, everybody! Yeah. Did I use the term, the expression, I have no son, back in that line in the fan translation? I may have. No one knows where he is even now. Because, yeah, Frost's kid did come to pick up his inheritance, but nobody knows where this guy's son is. Fender has a great line if you press one of the statements in Cousteau's next to... Yeah, I'm gonna press everything. You think I actually am, like, I'm a decent person with empathy? Think again! Ha ha ha! They demonstrate a certain lack of humanity on his part. This is Getzis' true co-author for bad parenting. Yeah, not even Von Karma would do this. Oh yeah, we don't know whose blood that was. I have a suspicion as to whose blood it might end up being. Oh really, they actually called it a mind palace. I'm sure we didn't make that reference, but it fits pretty well. Yeah. There's a very, like, you know, like if he came here, obviously there must be a reason. I mean, yeah, Gavel, we could charge him with child abandonment, I suppose. Yeah, I love the villains of this game, too. And yeah, someone in the chat already mentioned Mind Palaces. It's time for Gumshoe Ex Machina! Which he does actually surprisingly often. No, Mind Palace is a reference to Sherlock, not Persona 5. The BBC Sherlock. Which definitely was out back when this game was first released. It's funny that this game is the Gumshoe redemption arc, when Gumshoe, this is probably the least Gumshoe ever does in a game with him in it. And that's kind of saying something. Why is everybody always helping you? I don't know, maybe actually being likable has its advantages. Why do you have friends? Yes, Herlock is definitely better than Sherlock. And yes, it's always been my headcanon that there is an equivalent of the BBC Sherlock series, but in Ace Attorney, it's about Herlock Sholmes. Yeah, I had a feeling his blood would be there. Gumshoe does more by doing less. Yes, maybe Senedict Bumberpatch plays him. I am Herlocked, yes. You know, so the funny thing was, I actually guessed that, like, that plot twist, like, ahead of time. Probably isn't too hard to guess, but I figured that out back in the day. I completely blotted out the boomerang thing, though. Like, the whole boomerang thing in that episode, I forgot that even existed. Yeah, it was allegedly very salty indeed. Oh, okay, if this is the right part, I'm going to intentionally get this one wrong. You'll see. To those who've seen the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock show, is it good? Well, okay. There've been a lot of video essays lately that have been really slamming that show. My personal opinion is seasons 1 and 2 are pretty good. The rest of it goes downhill, but I do think seasons 1 and 2, which is only 6 episodes total, each season's only 3 episodes, I do think seasons 1 and 2 of BBC Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch are actually pretty good. But just, if you're gonna be, like, watching any further, be prepared for the quality to take a huge nosedive. And Season 4 is particular, like, Season 4 is straight up so bad it's good, especially the last episode. Which is kind of sad given how good it started, but, like, the last episode of Season 4 is just downright hilarious. It was so bad that fans actually came up with a theory that it was an elaborate ruse, and there was a secret 4th episode that was actually good. But no, that was not the case. It was just bad. There are, like, entire video essays on, like, it's called the John Locke Conspiracy, this massive fan rabbit hole about how, oh, somehow there's actually a secret 4th episode of that season that redeems all the bad writing. It's, like, the most insane copium of all time. You can look up stuff on... I don't want to say what was bad about that episode because spoilers. Heavy, heavy spoilers. So yeah, I am going to intentionally get this one wrong. The Salt and the Liar came from the Prosecutor's Badge. Okay, they use a literal translation of what the Japanese is. So the funny story about this is that, that is pretty much literally what she says in Japanese. Back when I first translated this, in like 2012, 2013, I did not know the slang term salty, but I always thought that if I did, I would have made a salty joke in this failure dialogue. So I was wondering if the official localization would do that, but it didn't. And in a sense, I'm kind of glad, because it might have been a little cringe, but still, it's funny. It's funny to me. Okay, so where did the Salt and the Liar actually come from? Well, yeah, obviously it's the rock salt land. Yeah, Eddie probably could get away with saying a salty joke. Yeah, that's the thing. Gavel would never say salty. That's what you've got to kind of consider, because, like, it wouldn't make sense. Like, the reason why I was thinking of it is in my head, there were more people talking in that failure. I thought that, Eustace would have had a line there. I can imagine him saying salty, but it was actually just her, so I was misremembering. The sculptures are actual ice sculptures. The blocks of ice, I think the blocks of ice were whole. No, I think they were full blocks of ice, actually. But the sculptures were, like, full-on ice sculptures, I think. Like, they weren't even hollow. Both the lamps were broken, but one of them didn't have blood on it. Interesting. Yeah, perhaps blood on the other one was cleaned up? Yeah, I love the sound effect of the chocolate breaking. I agree, the great, Skinado. Yeah, the statute of limitations book, I want to talk about that later. So that'll be, yeah, a bit later. So, what this means is that Delicia ate Gusto's blood at some point. Yep. Also, Tangaroa did too. So yeah. I believe I remember that being listed under Squeak on TV tropes at least one point. Probably still is. Yeah, I agree, cyberspace, that it is a very interesting aspect of localization, that, like, you have to determine who would and wouldn't say, like, what would be or wouldn't be out of character. Also, the chat has suddenly been all just reacting to that, yep. Which is horrifying to think about. Delicia is a vampire, that's why she doesn't age. Yeah, that's my pick of the chat by far. Yep, that's everyone's appetites lost. Yeah, he definitely goes a bit crazy with laughter at this point. But yeah, he's straight up confessed, so case over, right? Intellectual fan, I probably spend way too much time on TV tropes. I mean, there are worse places to spend your time on the internet. But yeah, you probably would have figured out by now that there's a reason why he's being so cavalier about admitting it. But also, maybe that's why, yeah, with the ice sculptures, that had to be prepared in advance. So Frost got his finals entry, he'd had that prepared earlier, so now he's like, you know what? Maybe it'll just be me winning. Yeah, IRL, a person can wait like 20 years and say, yeah, I did a murder. Because, yeah, in most countries these days, there isn't a statute of limitations for murder, but there was in Japan for quite a while. Yes, you gave up everything, including your son. We're definitely judging you for that. Oh yes, someone like you could understand. Like, that's actually kind of interesting, because, like, giving up everything to be the best, that was Edgeworth in the past. That was Edgeworth before his character developments. But now he's no longer like that. Yeah, abandoning the son. Ah, yes. Friendship sucks. So, okay. So, like, your collaborator betrayed you, and now you're like, I can't rely on people. First person I'm gonna cut off, my own son. Who's, like, elementary school age. Oh, my son went missing on the final, but I didn't care at all. I didn't think to look for him or anything like that. Nope, not worried whatsoever. Yeah, considering Kay's own relationship with her father, yeah, it makes sense she'd react this way. But play the first game to find that out. Yeah, his son betrayed him too in his mind, I suppose. Yeah, by not showing up. A grown man thinks a child conspired against him, yep. Also, wow, chat summary. AI chat summary is very much a thing. And this is definitely proof that all those people who say, oh, we shouldn't have localization, we should just have AI replace it, are obviously idiots. Because you'll get things like that. And yeah, this artwork. I think we actually had him say tisk tisk there. Okay, so he tried to hit him once. Oh, Frost shoved him, okay, when I went to punch him. Crash into one of the lamps. Must have been when my blood got on it. But then he straight up killed him, yeah. So I don't think it was like 100% self-defense, but also, you know, they were both awful people. We've now found out. This is one of those cases where the victim was a terrible person. Yeah, Frost was about to blackmail him about the taste disorder. So it's like, yeah, basically, yep, both of them were pretty bad. Oh yeah, regarding AI translation as well, I don't know if any of you here in the chat have seen that one Trails Chinese gacha game, because that's something. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I don't think he mentioned it possibly being self-defense in the fan translation either. But also, like, yeah, it's kind of murky because, you know, like, he tried to punch him first, and it's all like, yeah, the conclusion is they were both bad. However, this part is really interesting. This part is interesting, because Gusto didn't actually want Samson Tangaroa framed. He was actually trying to frame Delicia the whole time. Now we know why all of the incriminating stuff was in her room. Because he genuinely respected Tangaroa. And he tried to frame Delicia entirely because she wasn't a real chef. She deserved to be accused of murder because she was a fake chef. She was a literal fake fan. Yeah. Yeah, his framing attempt was so obvious that even Von Karma didn't fall for it. Or didn't, you know, actually play into it. Also because she's a vampire. There's some Asian Gusto pulling off the hardest gatekeeping ever. Yeah. Why did he need to freeze his body? Yeah. Yeah, this right here, this was also a funny one to look at out of context, but I had a feeling I knew what it referred to. So cringe she got framed for murder. But yeah, even though he respected Tangaroa, he didn't do anything when he got arrested. And yeah, he's not really one to call someone else a fraud, considering he had to team up with someone else to get through the whole competition. Ah, so the ship collapsed because of that, yeah. So if it was found eventually, it would be fine, but by that time, the time of death would be obscured a little bit. Well, if you'd confessed, he wouldn't have been convicted either. And yet another thing that Judy Bound accidentally, you know, caused. Yeah. Yeah, the first detective, yeah, Ian Sideman, not great, even though we never see him. Oh, that is interesting, Cinder Clouds, that Judy is your favorite Investigations 2 character. She's a good character. I like her a lot, but it's hard for me because there's so many really good characters in this game. It's actually really hard for me to pick a favorite. Yeah. Von Karma is not one to admit any kind of potential fault in anything he does. Yeah, I can't quite remember exactly how I translated this line. Oh yeah, Ian Seidman's name reveal. That was in the previous episode during the flashback to Gregory's final trial. Oh wow, somebody got spoiled on Persona 4 because they depicted Ian Seidman in some, like, as a character from Persona 4. That's interesting, actually. But yeah, Von Karma was always, you know, arresting people for murder just to satisfy his own perfectionist ego. But the reason why he confessed is because, yep, we can't actually touch him. Because statute of limitations. Here we go. Why you can't arrest me? Yeah, that's a direct translation. And that's pretty simple. Diplomatic immune. Oh, wait. I mean, surely even if the statute of limitations is over, we can still overturn his conviction. Harder to overturn than you might imagine. Yeah, that does happen sometimes. But, does the committee have a vested interest in keeping him convicted, though? Why? Yeah, that's the thing. If the statute of limitations is up, why did he have to come back just to erase his own evidence, though? Yeah, Cavell, what is wrong with you exactly? Oh, translating Investigations 2 into Spanish, someone in the chat. Yeah, no, that is cool. There's a lot of different things in different languages that might make some of the plot points hard to, like, convey. But, like, the thing that, like, yeah, the languages that have gendered nouns and stuff has always been really... They can get tricky when you have to keep things vague. I've heard of translations, like, into languages with gendered nouns, like Spanish and French, having problems with, like, mistaking the gender of certain characters because the dialogue was vague originally and they'd assume one thing, then it turned out to be the other later. Here we go. What has he been doing since the incident? Not long after the contest, I was able to cure my taste disorder thanks to the formula from that book. Yes, the copyright infringement photos you took. You went to Zheng Fa. Yeah, you told us that. They tried to contact him, but he was gone. Yeah, Gregory kept trying to appeal for about a year, didn't he? So he would have tried to contact him. Around a year after the murder. And yep, that's an actual wolf now.
Objection!
Yes, all the lives he destroyed, including a son. And Judy, and Tangaroa, and he tried... Was there, like, I don't think there was anybody in this case that he did not try to ruin the life of in some way. Yeah, I think he did say, Kay did call him evil in the original as well, from what I remember. He's training in Zheng Fa, Mr. Tangaroa's final day in court. The training in Zheng Fa is actually important. Because here's the thing, if you do the math, right, it's been 18 years, and the statute is 15. We need 3 more years, somehow. Yeah, remember to press everything. Yeah, it was just Von Karma that stopped him from doing that. Oh, the comparison with eggs was cake and not an omelet. That is interesting, yeah. It's funny that I'm actually forgetting what he... I know I translated this testimony, I'm just forgetting what he said originally for that. It was definitely an expression, because they've used it twice. Yeah, I'm still unsure why he bothered to come back at all when the statute of limitations was up as far as he knew.
Hold it!
Ah, yes, yes. A murder charge only mildly gets in the way of you doing your craft, exactly. Oh, yeah. I like this, yeah. Watch, if your legal drivers involved, he's no lawyer. Yes, it's not Ace Attorney with an actual lawyer. Armchair attorney. Yeah, we definitely didn't use that in the fan translation, but yeah. Did I press this one?
Hold it!
Oh, here we go, yeah.
Objection!
Okay, so it's the same thing. We can't... Okay. We can ask him about Mr. Tangaroa's final day in court, though. I didn't stick around for his final court appearance.
Hold it!
Yeah, this is the one where you can switch one of the statements. Yeah, so I was kind of wrong about the other one. I mean, the other one does too, though, I think, so yeah. Yeah, he kind of knew that in Ace Attorney, if the true culprit testifies, they usually get caught.
Hold it!
Okay, so now I'm gonna switch back and press the other one.
Objection!
Oh, he still got the wolf out. I was hoping that we'd cut off him actually making it. Okay, Training in Zhengfa. Because I haven't pressed the Zhengfa one, even though I think this is important.
Hold it!
What is actually kind of interesting is that I've seen like real YouTube videos of someone in China doing this candy blowing thing. They did it by hand though, and not with pumps. But also, I'm thinking he'll probably make the dragon here. Yeah, there's the dragon. It's even holding a Dragon Ball. It is no longer a seahorse. Yay! I get candy. Useless winner probably. So yeah, here we go. When does Zhengfa to train, huh? I guess the wolf does kind of resemble Amaterasu in Okami. Suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. I don't know if he was officially suspected though, but
Objection!
Yep, he's meditating. That means this is bad for him. Three years exactly. Exactly 18. But... yeah, he's got into a laughing fit. And yeah, he had this figured already. Yeah, it was a trap. End of December, it's April now. Strictly speaking, it's been 18 years and 4 months. Read the board well, yeah, more chess metaphors. I don't think there was a chess metaphor there originally, but it fits with what's being said. Yes, if only it had been suspended for another year. There's not like there's any way that, it was.
Objection!
Yeah, the fact that she was kind of considering that. Oh yeah, there's one little detail that was about the case that wasn't really made public. He wasn't there for Samson's last trial. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, ironically, the false accusation itself is going to save us here. Also, this is a good line. Oh, see you, Legion, I have arrived. Where we at? We're pretty much at the very end of this case.
Objection!
And it is the statute of limitations book again. Wait. Oh, no, it's the files. Right, whoops, okay. Derp, okay. Ignore me!
Take that!
Yeah, here we go. We need to refer to a particular page. Suspect data, I think. Yeah. Yes, making a big dramatic declaration and then, yeah, the wrong one. I had the right idea, but... Yeah, it took 1 year for his indictment, yeah, for the verdict to be reached. If the suspect flees the country, yep. Oh yeah, the evidence will shatter the statute of limitations, I remember that. It's suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. Yeah, the fact that Von Karma wasn't able to get a full conviction, I mean, and had to settle for accomplice is gonna be what screws it over here. His wrongful conviction will be the very thing that sets him free. Yeah, this is interesting. Yes, it is funny about a book for dummies being something, serious. It seems the prosecutor in charge of this case may have erred. You're only just realizing that now?
Objection!
Edgeworth literally threw the book at him. Yeah, that's true, Avery AT. I like how it's Fender who's basically delivering the sort of final speech here in a way. Even my son, yes, and Karma's finally caught up to you for that. Yeah, it's a pretty good breakdown. Yeah, the exact copy of himself was hollow. Yeah, that's fitting. I agree, Aaron, in the chat. The sculptures weren't her fault. Yeah, this right here as well. This is another reason why I ship them. Oh, I guess that's the animation that's kind of the closest thing to a breakdown that she has. Because, yeah, like, it's entirely possible he could get mitigating circumstances for it somehow. Gusto played himself, yep, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that only makes it more suspicious. No doubt you will be called to appeal before the committee in due course, and that's going to be case 4. Yeah, I don't think, Larry didn't even do anything in this stream, yeah, exactly. I don't think, like, Judy will be found, like, not guilty or anything. It's just, I feel like Fender defending her is more a matter of getting her a lighter sentence. Which is something that I do think real defense attorneys do. Yeah, grr, stop successfully solving murder cases. Verity, probably. And suddenly his theme is playing. Oh no, that's going over my head. I'm the only one who's allowed to make puns on my name. I'm screenshotting this. This just sums him up as well, too. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Eustace winner. Milesy Wilesy. Now, well, okay, finally Larry is doing something. So there was actually something about the fan translation I didn't talk about here. I may have missed something in the dialogue. Or he'll mention it now. Yeah, final, like, I don't know how I said finally. As always, Larry accidentally captured the truth with his sketches. Not that I'm about to tell him that. And so we get to this. Yes, Eustace Winner solved the case again. He's probably going to be claiming that. So yeah, this part I didn't translate. I just did the testimonies and stuff and like the immediate aftermath. Oh yeah, that. And yeah, they did make an older sprite for him. I like how the payoff is actually getting to see him in the present after all of this. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I understand, Hope Cat. It seems strange that I only translate specific parts. We split up the work, but we were all in communication over a forum. It actually helped, make sure we didn't miss context, because it meant that, like, stuff that gets referenced later on in the game, in a different context, we need to make sure the original context fits the later context, if that makes sense. So, like, knowing exactly what comes later really helps. Because if you're just straight up translating everything without knowing what comes later, you might miss things like that and be like, oh wait, this is actually foreshadowing of something in case 5, so we need to go back and change this so that it actually makes sense when it's referenced again in case 5. So I suppose the thing that I miss with Larry that I can talk about is that there was a reference to Franzie's Whippity Whip Trip, the book that, I don't think Larry appears later on in this game after case 3, so I don't think it's the case. I think in case 3, I know what happened, I must have just missed this, but like, there's a bit, I'm sure it was in case 3, where Larry references Franzie's Whippity Whip Trip, which is a book that he was writing in the 3rd game. It's about Francisca and, you know, whips. So he says that he's gonna make a sequel, and we called it Justy's Gavelly Gavel Gala. In Japanese, the Whippity Whip Trip was like Whip Whip Borken, or like, so it's like Francisca's Whip Whip Adventure. And so the gavel version was like Verity's Gavel Gavel Adventure. So it doesn't really fit as well, like, it doesn't quite have that ring to it when it's literally translated. So I believe, yeah, we called it Justy's Gavelly Gavel Gala. If that reference is still there in the official localization, I don't know what they made it, because I must have missed that. I don't know if it's like an optional present dialogue during the investigation with Larry in this case or not. Oh, Trucy mentions she's read it in the 6th DLC, so he did get Franzie's Whippity Whip Trip published. Oh yeah, and he kept his fancy suit for so long behind bars too. Yeah, the thing about translating in reverse, it kind of reminds me of, like how when you're writing mysteries, you kind of have to write mysteries in reverse. You need to start with, like, the full truth and then work backwards. So it kind of makes sense, translating with that, yeah. Yeah, maybe Larry says it in the credits. I'm not sure. So yeah, Tangaroa is the good dad, in contrast to the bad dad we just arrested. Ah. Yeah, I believe it would be the chocolates.
Take that!
Yeah, it is probably just sprite limitations why he wears the same clothes. Wait, hang on. Oh yeah, make sure he gets them later. Yeah, we are starting to see. There's definitely a parenthood theme running through things. Yeah, Bad was basically Gumshoe's mentor. I thought I was gonna sing for a second there. And yeah, see, this is the bittersweet nature of the end of this case, that like now they're reversed. Now Judy has to go to prison. So now the other is, yeah, now he's waiting for her. How old is he? Let me check the case we inherited. Yeah, literally the inherited Turnabout. So Gusto is 54 now. Tangaroa is 57, yeah. So I kind of wonder if they're going to bring up a certain thing here. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so in the fan translation, there was an implication here that with the false translation, sorry, with the false conviction overturned, that maybe Gusto would go free. I always wondered, it felt a bit too depressing for a conclusion to the case, and I wonder if it was simply a mistranslation of this line. It might have been a mistranslation, honestly, because I can see this line being mistranslated as that. Like, it's sometimes Japanese wording is very tricky, so I'll have to look into the original Japanese line somehow to see which is closer. But I was kind of hoping it would be something like this, because, yeah, legal contradiction. Because, like, I thought the fan translation's conclusion of this case was a bit too depressing. Like, it didn't seem like, and with the way that everything's presented, I feel like this case was not meant to have a bit of a, like, depressing ending like that. Like, Judy going to jail was really the only main downside it was supposed to have. So it's, like, so I don't know if the localization took liberties here, or if the fan translation was a mistranslation. Like, I wouldn't, again, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this was mistranslated. Because again, that line from K right there, if the false conviction had been overturned before today, Mr. Gusto would have gotten away scot-free. Like, if you reverse that, it could be something like, if we overturn the false confession, Mr. Gusto gets away scot-free. It's like a tense issue. An issue with, like, past versus present tense, or, like, speculative tense. I'm not, for a translator/writer, I'm not the best with, like, English grammar terms, but you get the idea. Yeah, the law is evolving. This is a major theme of Ace Attorney as well. It's more explicit in some other games, but, yeah. Yeah, I believe the line's here. Yeah. I think this was in the demo, on the Flash demo on the Japanese website, back when this game first came out. So they took lines from way later in the game. They used it just on a black background, they didn't actually show the context, but I'm pretty sure it did use those lines. The law is evolving. It'd be a shame if a dark age for it happened in a few years. And that's not gonna happen, right? I don't think they mentioned Frost getting his just desserts. Gusto did say quite a lot that Frost deserved what he got, but he didn't make that direct analogy. Yeah, so the main theming of this case, well, in a lot of ways, there's a lot of themes to this case, but another one, for Edgeworth's arc, it was all about, again, this is the most pro-defense attorney case he's taken in this game so far. This is the one that heavily leans on the side of, you know, maybe Edgeworth should stop prosecuting, maybe defense is better. With the help of some good, I do like that the friends is plural. Yeah, I talked about this back in case 2. Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully when the committee's done for him, he'll be allowed to practice law in general, and that could be a problem. Meanwhile, this scene that's coming up is so good. Yeah, I guess Legacy there will fit with the localized name in this case. Yeah, I just want to, yeah. Oh, also this line right here. This was definitely in the demo. Yeah, that's why we called it Prosecutor's Path as well. I think that line is in the trailers as well for the Japanese version. But yeah, that scene is amazing. Yeah, I would love to hear Eddie fully voice giving that monologue. Yeah, and like amazing. Like yeah, so that's it. Peak case, absolutely. This case is easily in my top 3 of the whole series. Probably my top 2, actually. I don't know if it beats Bridge to the Turnabout for me. Bridge to the Turnabout relies on knowing some other stuff about, it's more of a finale to 3 long games, so it's kind of hard to say, but, this is definitely, absolute peak Ace Attorney. This is one of my favorite cases in any game in the whole series, so yeah. So glad that I got to share it with you all. It is amazing, but it is my favorite case in this game. Don't think that Investigations 2 is peaked too early, though. Cases 4 and 5 are still really good. So, what I think I might do here, and I really hope that this is gonna work, so keep an eye on my main channel page. What I think I'll do is, for the ease of VODs, I'm going to end the stream here, but I'm going to start a new stream just to keep the end of Case 3 and the start of Case 4 separate VODs. So, okay. So, yeah, we finished Peak, and on that note, I'll hopefully see you all back here very shortly for the start of Case 4. I might be going a little later than I usually go today, but I do want to get through a decent amount of the start of Case 4 because this is too short for a stream. Yeah, I will be right back.